You are most welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tuesday Night Anatomy with Daniel Oakman. Today's section, it's all about power behind the voice. My friends, that is PBV we do. And for power behind the voice, one thing that I want you to know is that what we do over here is that there could be some kind of misconceptions, okay? There could be some kind of misnomers. There could be some kind of gaps, okay, in concept, which of course is commonly, used by the lay person in the society. But some of these things, yes, could have anatomical bearing. So if there are some kind of misconceptions, there are some kind of gaps, there are some kind of things which are not going well, my friends, it is my job as the noted anatomical prophet, yes, to use the medium, okay, of Tuesday Night Anatomy with Daniel Oakman to sort of, try and then, demystify any that kind of myth about it. To, of course, bring our concept, to the right way, yes, based on current findings that we find. Yes, that is, what, we do on Power Behind the Voice. Now, for today, I want to quickly look at something which, yes, in contemporary, especially in the contemporary Ghanaian, in recent times, it has been going on, and that is paternity testing. Yes, so many men, especially, because of, suspicion of infidelity by their, of course, counterparts, or by their spouse, what they believe is that they have to, of course, do this kind of paternity testing. And commonly, the one they resort to is to do the DNA testing. My friends, one thing that we can even start from the nitty-gritty, let's start from the basis. Yes, one thing that you can do is to, try and then find out if the child is yours or not. The first line of action is to do, of course, blood grouping testing. Yes, you can check the blood group. You should know the mother's blood group, you know your own blood group, then you check the blood group of your child. Yes, if that one passes or there's no discrepancy over there, then you move further, and of course you can do something called sickling testing. You want to look at hemoglobin genotyping. Yes, you can check all these things. What is the hemoglobin genotype of your wife? What is your own hemoglobin genotype? And then of course you check, that is after 6 months forward, you check the hemoglobin genotype of course your newborn. Okay, these are some kind of basic things that of course you can use to, of course, rule in or rule out whatever suspicion that you have. My friends, now if there's no problem with the sickling status or the hemoglobin genotyping, then we can move further and of course look at what we call the DNA testing. My friends, one thing that we know is about the non-invasive DNA testing, where of course once the child is born, yes, you want to go and check whether it belongs to you by taking some kind of for instance, taking some kind of cells in the oral cavity around the cheek or whatsoever. Yes, you want to go and look at all these things. Some other materials will as well be used. Now, my friends, one thing that you have to know is that yes, some of these DNA testing, yes, it could be done, in utero. Yes, so there could be that kind of prenatal DNA testing that you can also do. So once even the child is, the fetus, yes, is in the mother's womb, even DNA can be checked. But that one is quite invasive because there's that kind of likelihood for a miscarriage. So those ones commonly is not usually embraced because of that kind of chances of miscarriage. Usually we do something we call a amniocentesis or coronary villus sampling. Yes, it could be done, but it's not really encouraged. So at the end of the day, you've waited for this lady to give birth. Yes, you have your newborn over there. You are still not convinced, and so you want to do this kind of DNA testing. My friend, the reason why we are doing this kind of DNA testing is that DNA is the blueprint of life, because at the end of the day, if you look at the central dogma of molecular biology, one thing we know is that from DNA we get to the mRNA through transcription. Of course, from mRNA, yes, to code for the various amino acids which you have to use for the various protein synthesis, and that's the translation. So it means that yes, for whatever being you are, it is based on the sort of DNA that you have. Now, my friends, it is at this point that I want to explain that this kind of DNA that we are doing, yes, if you want to become a complete human being, one thing is that there was that kind of fusion of male and female pronuclei. Yes, that fertilization took place. So one thing that we know is that you don't have only DNA of the mother, or neither do you have only DNA of the father. And that is why, yes, I'm of the strong view that, yes, after doing that kind of DNA paternity testing, because I've seen so many women, they lament that, yes, this is the only man I know this is the only man who impregnated me, but the DNA turned out, yes, that he is not the that kind of biological father based on the result of the DNA. And this is what I want to explain, that yes, this kind of DNA testing that fathers do, we have to insist that it is augmented, or there's that kind of quality control measure to check that indeed the child that this lady is even giving to this man is indeed the real child of this lady herself. And that is why I believe strongly that we have to do what we call mitochondrial DNA, because during that kind of fertilization, the initial stages, what will happen is that we don't have mitochondrial DNA for the father. It is exclusively coming from the mother, and therefore through the maternal lineage. So whatever is a male child or is a female child, if you want to clarify anything about paternity dispute, please, after doing that kind of DNA checking for that of father, okay, in comparison with that of the newborn, we have to do a quality control measure, and by so doing we have to do what we call mitochondrial DNA, checking that indeed the mother's the child that the lady is claiming is indeed hers. Because my friend, anything could happen. Yes, anything could happen. There could be that kind of mistake where the mother may bring a wrong child home. So my friends, there's one thing that I want you to know, yes, that whichever DNA that we are doing, yes, I've seen that a lot of things, yes, it goes on television, a lot of people bring their problems to be resolved. They read only the result of what you call the that kind of DNA, which you want to check for that kind of comparison, okay, with that of the child. But we have to go further and look at mitochondrial DNA for the mother and of course the newborn, so that we can clarify any ambiguity or any discrepancy that may arise. So my friends, I hope you find this helpful. Please share with friends if you enjoyed it. I'm very grateful for your time this evening. Have a good night, all of you, and may the good Lord richly bless you. Amen.